Hi and welcome to the Indulge podcast with me, Roma Laishram. And like every week, I'm in conversation with incredibly interesting people. Today, I'm at one of my favorite brands in Bangalore, N Rao, and I'm in conversation with Naveen and Ketan Pishe. I am so happy that I'm finally here and we get to talk about this beautiful brand and the legacy behind it that is so much a part of Bangalore. So let's start from the very beginning. Either of you all can answer the question if you'd like to. Both of you can chip in whenever you want to. The first question, of course, is when did P.N. Rao start, and how did the idea of having a truly desi suiting brand like this come about?
So, Rumal, welcome first of all to PN Rao, and
Thank
Naveen
you.
and I are very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
PN Rao started in 1923
Mhm.
by our grandfather Pishe Naveen Rao,
Okay.
which
Okay.
is the PN Rao is the short
Mhm.
form for that. He actually started out as a ladies' tailor.
Okay.
Which is most people don't know that.
Yeah. Like.
And he made garments for the the British ladies.
Mhm.
It's basically the Western garments for the
Mhm.
British ladies. In those days, they had all these horse races and
Mhm.
those where you needed the dresses for each event, and of course each dress has to be different from another
Absolutely.
dress.
Absolutely.
And so he started off as doing that.
Mhm.
And then probably graduated, and now we happily say that he had to pivot because the ladies started going away,
Okay.
away from India,
Mhm.
and we are getting closer to independence and so on. So then later he pivoted to menswear tailoring.
So, was there a
Yeah.
particular year that this happened?
Yeah, 1940s,
Mhm.
late 1940s is as when the British started moving out
Mhm.
of the country, and early 50s
Mhm.
is when my uncle, that's my
Mhm.
eldest son, P. N. Panduranga Rao, was trained to become a men's master.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he took on the responsibility, and slowly we started moving towards the men's trade.
Lovely, and I'm
And
so happy that happened. I must point out you both are wearing PN Rao
Of
today,
course.
and absolutely at opposite ends of the spectrum, something more classic and traditional, something brand new and contemporary. And I think
yeah,
that kind of shows what PN Rao is all about. You've
yes,
got something for everyone, for
We have the
someone,
width. Yeah.
yeah,
which is
yeah.
very nice. Now, I'm going to go into the whole question of very few suiting brands in India can claim to have the kind of quality that P.N. Rao has come to be known for. So, was there a lot of training involved? Where did the original tailors go and train? Did they go back to the UK and train? Or how did you manage to get this finesse of a global sense of what suiting means into P.N.
Naveen, you
Rao?
want to take that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, basically, it's been going on over the years.
Mhm.
My uncle started to learn the practices of making patterns for men.
Mhm.
We also started to understand, how you would have to make these garments.
Got it.
So, both of them, go hand in hand. So, the
Mhm.
pattern to be made in a particular way, and for that pattern, the garment needs to be tailored in a certain way.
Mhm.
So, back in the days, it was everything was made by hand. We never
Mhm.
even had a sewing machine.
Mhm.
And then I think over a period of time, the sewing machine started becoming
Got it.
popular and things like that, and we started getting, started using the sewing machine. But by and large, predominantly everything was a significant majority was made by
Mhm.
hand. And then of course it transpired into getting things done quicker, because those days we take up almost 45 days to 60 days to complete an order,
Mhm.
and that was not tenable nowadays. So we obviously had to kind of innovate to make things done faster, at the same time retain the quality. So we did many things in terms of how to break down the process,
Got it.
and have apprentices come and learn from the guy who's already the major tailor. So we continue that process even till now, and we have a small training center even till today in our factory, where everybody gets trained.
Lovely.
To make the as you know, that product cycle is that we have to come and choose the fabric,
Mhm.
and then we keep it ready for a trial,
Mhm.
and then only you come and pick it up. So that process of getting it made for a trial and then getting it finished later on is two different processes altogether. And then of course, what goes into the garment as well is also changed, evolved over a period of time. Earlier it was quite heavy and thick, and now it's a lot more lighter in weight. And
Absolutely.
even we kind of propagate that we don't want you to wear
True,
something
true,
heavy
true.
today. So that's how I think it's over evolved, and we have learned, and we have also done our own changes, what suits for our own country. So, for example, if you go to the UK, it's largely made on a scale basis.
Absolutely.
So, what we have is the measurement and scale base.
Nice,
What we
nice.
use, because the Indian body type is very different, and you can't do away without taking too many measurements. So, we have about 20 to 30 measurements that we take for the garment. At the same time, we use the scale
Lovely.
in terms of height and how you distribute the measurements.
So in many ways, you guys are living the truth of a bespoke suiting.
Oh, absolutely!
Nice.
It's our pride. Yeah.
Lovely.
I'll add another story to this. So we are also part of the what is called the Bhausha Kshatriya community.
Okay.
So typically we were the tailoring community
Okay.
through the ages,
Okay.
and we are descendants of the Shivaji tribe, Marathi speaking people. And then moved, along with the warrior community
Got it,
as
got
the
it.
tailors through many generations and through different parts of India. So much of the trait of that is part of the community that we are from, the tailoring
Got
community
it. Got
itself.
it. Yeah.
So much of that has seeped into the finesse of the tailoring, which is your
So it's a
initial
culture
question.
thing, like what we have in our right from the family days. I completely agree with Ketan. We talked about this Bhausha Kshatriya community, because at one point of time, the entire commercial street was our community people
Oh, okay.
being tailors,
You would
ladies,
hear of all the
men's,
Raos
and
and
so and
Interesting.
some of them still are there.
I did notice a lot of
Yeah.
proprietors
Yeah.
with the name Rao, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how, and then I think the good part is we stuck on, and we believed that there was always going to be a niche, whereas the other people I think got a little, I'm not sure, but got a little phased out. And I think when I joined the business in 1991, we had almost 300, 400 tailors in
Wow.
Bangalore, but now there are a handful of them.
True.
So very few were actually practicing the art of tailoring, and even fewer practicing the art in the way it should be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That leads me to my next question, something that you were talking about earlier. The fact that N Rao is known for fabric, known for the kind of wide variety of fabrics that you have available. Over the years, you have always kept yourself contemporary with movements all across the world, across fashion capitals. Very recently, also, I know you all did quite a few collaborations with a few international
That's right.
designers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, how has the journey been? And right now, what are, if we had to put a number to the kind of options people have when they come to a brand like P and Rao, what would it be?
So it has been a very interesting journey for us as far as fabrics is concerned. Of course, I must say that we do the ready-to-wear part of the business as well as the fabric part of the business. But in the fabrics business, a customer can today walk into P and Rao and have on display for suiting 300-400 options.
My God,
We normally
wow.
say 365 days, 365 options
Very
available
nice.
in the store for suiting as well as shirting.
How lovely. Yeah.
But this is just what is physically available in the store. But our offering goes far beyond that because we have now over the years have various tie-ups with brands like you were talking about. So all the most important brands worldwide we work with.
Nice.
We have their collections available with us in store, and we also stock many of their collections. So in terms of the availability of the width of the fabric, I think sky is the limit. So most of the fabrics which are non-Indian are coming from Italy and England, where most of the fabrics are made. So all those brands we house in our stores, and we have their collections also, which you can order, and the single piece will come from wherever the warehouse is, which is typically again England and Italy, and they will come specifically for you in the cut that you require.
Got it.
So that capability we have today, and which I think is which is why people want to go for that even more nowadays, and
True,
we're getting
true.
more and more popular for it.
Absolutely. I think options are such an important thing to a consumer today. You want limitless options.
Yes,
Right? And
yes.
it's amazing that you can do that at one particular store. I'm Romal Laishram on the Indulge podcast, and I'm in conversation with Ketan and Naveen Pishe from P and Rao. Now we're going to get into what you are relevant today for. you're one of the few people in this country who has everything from Western wear to bangalas to kurtas to sherwanis to everything. You've kind of brought in the whole, a groom can just come here and walk out with everything that they need for their special occasion or any celebratory occasion. So when did you decide to start incorporating Indian designs into your, your category, the options that
See,
were available?
I think it was a pretty much a natural progression. You see, Indian wear has always been around.
Okay.
Like the classic Bangala, we've always been whether tailoring or ready to wear for a long time. Even the achkan, which is the the classic well tailored one good fabric with not much of a lot of jing bang going on the garment, to put it mildly.
I have to point it out that N Rao is known for being subtle.
Yeah.
Something that is, I think, very
classical
truly
elegance.
Bangalorean. So,
Yeah, very classic elegance. So that we've been tailoring all the while, but now we do that is in a ready to wear space as well as our tailoring space. Of course, over the past, let's say, a decade or thereabouts, the ethnic business has gained prominence, and we all know that. Of course, there is it's a very big playing field there in terms of ethnicities of various parts of the country. We have chosen to, of course, take a route of this classical elegance. So in South India, for example, for a wedding, people wear a dhoti.
Dhoti, yes. I've seen that in a recent
You don't wear
collection,
you don't necessarily have to. We don't wear a sherwani like how many of the
Absolutely.
North Indians do. So our collections is based on the kind of the communities that we cater to, whether
Lovely.
it's Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, where we are present. And we understand the requirements of these places and offer those solutions in the
Nice.
ethnic space, whether it's ready to wear or fabric and tailoring. So you absolutely hit it on the nail. So a customer can come in and wear a bandi and a kurta set, and be very fitted for a certain type of occasion, or he could decide to be fully in the silk clothing which is required for a typical Madhave ceremony.
Correct.
So we have that on offer. If there is a very elegant function where you need a little bit more playful bangala, we have that too. So or a tuxedo, for example. So the width is very nice, and even classic things like broad lapel double breast suits, striped suits. We do all of them.
Nice. A fashionista, I'm not going to take the name because he asked me not to, but said that you are one of the first brands in India to have incorporated suiting material into Indian designs, Indian silhouettes, and that's something that very few people talk about.
Absolutely.
So was that a very conscious idea? And also, I know you have an Indo-Western line that has
Yes.
come out. So tell us a little bit about both of these things.
Okay, so I'll go with the suiting thing first. So kudos to our team which does the work on the back end, in terms of the tailoring bit, because imagine a classic pinstripe suit, a three-piece suit. Everybody can imagine it.
Absolutely.
Now imagine the same thing converted into an Indo-Western, which is longer on one side, shorter on the other side. So it's called asymmetrical design sense, and it has some pleats and flares on one side. But I can share you an image of that.
Sure,
separately.
we'll show
But
once.
it's so nice to have a product like that, and it's just a classic, very very classic item which is proposed in a very different way to a consumer.
Lovely.
And I think that India is a country that is easily adaptable to all
Very
these
true, very true.
kind of looks, and we find that a lot of people find favor for this because it stands out straight away.
Absolutely.
And at the same time it's got that similar classic elegance. So we definitely are doing that. Some of the achkans also that we do are in jacquard fabrics, which is wool based fabrics, which is very rarely seen in the market, and we are wanting to do more and more of that. The other bit of what we are doing and are wanting to do more of, given the scenario that we are in of the ethnic wear in the market, is in the Indo-Western space. So of course, there's a space where there's a lot of ready to wear. I want to come in, like how he said, I want to come in, get a couple of outfits and then move out very quickly. And then there's also the space of all the traditional crafts. So which is something that we are working on, and want to get into that as well, because we see a very nice interesting space for that in the markets that we are in. And it's rich, it's got a lot of heritage, and because of that people are willing to invest in it.
Fabulous. You're also one of the few brands that people still consider a home brand. Like a lot of brands in Bangalore, for example, your home jeweler, your home grocer. So you're considered that kind of, like, my family will only go to N Rao.
I'm so glad you said that, because we have so many multi-generation customers that come to us, and people who have probably born and brought up in Bangalore but no longer live in Bangalore, and they come back to Bangalore, and it's one of the things that they must do. They come in and buy something or the other, and just because of they have that connect with the city, have the connect with the store, connect with the people. So and not just sometimes our people also keep changing, but for example, the connect with the brand is more important than the connect. So we really enjoy that, and when we see people in the in the store that come back, multi-generation, sometimes even fourth generation shopping with us. So it's very heartening to see that, really.
Yeah, and it's also a larger responsibility.
Very true.
We have to make sure that he's keeps on getting and more than what he expects all the time, and that's a wonderful challenge we accept, and things are going well so far. Yeah.
You've been doing it well for the last few decades, and we're very proud of the brand. We're very proudly, we always call N Rao a Bangalore brand, and I hope it continues to be so. Also, a question to both of you: since you represent such a long legacy, is there a N Rao museum in the making sometime soon?
It's very nice that you asked the question. I always keep mentioning at home that I have many of these garments that we keep, and that I like to keep, and I said, oh, this is my museum garment. And I don't have a space right now to display everything, but I have quite a few products that I've kept aside. When we did our 100 years, I actually reached out to some of our friends and family mainly, and then a few of our customers. Like he said, somebody brought in a garment to showcase, and we pulled out some really old garments, and we put them together and we shot them, and just for memory's sake, and we've also brought out a book in which some of those garments are actually showcased. A few of the garments, but are showcased in the Centennial book that we pulled out. So we hope to do that.
On that wonderfully positive note, and hoping that this happens soon, this is Romal Laishram signing out from the Indulge podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Romal.
Naveen.